Hi, and welcome to my show. I'm Garry Jenkins, and today we're going to paint a Rembrandt tulip, or actually tulips, because we're going to do two tulips. Let's take a look at the painting I'll be working from that I've already worked up for you. There it is. I really like this painting, not just because they're tulips, but also because of the antique background. And it's just sort of, notice how the leaves are drifting off into the bottom and it just sort of fades away, and some of the background actually shows through. Let's take a look at the my canvas up here, which is a 14 by 18, and you know I don't have a lot of time up here, so I've already prepared this. This is acrylic and it is dry, and this is cerulean blue with a touch of white, with some green accents, a touch of mauve and white, and the edges are antiqued with sienna, burnt sienna, and green. And also I've used the paper towel, so when I put the paint on, and it was acrylic, and I would just put it on, and while it was still wet, I would just hit it with my paper towel, and maybe I would put a little more on, maybe I'd wipe some off, but just play with it and experiment with it to get this sort of antique-y edge. Now our tulips, we're going to come down to the palette. Oh, I'm using a mixture of turp and linseed oil. This is odorless turpentine. And I also have another jug over here of just plain turp. We're going to take, oh, and also I have a thin coat. Woo, almost forgot to tell you. A thin coat of linseed oil on here. Yeah, so that helps the brush to slip and slide. Now I've got a color down here that's very important. It's called, what is that called? I forgot what it's called. Yellow Ochre Deep. Is that what it is? I'm asking my wife. She's off camera. I'm saying, what is that? Yellow Ochre Deep. I never remember all the colors. Let me make sure. Let me look at the color. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Indian Yellow Deep. Huh. I tell you, there's so many wonderful colors on the market out there, it's hard to remember. I never remember all the names. Actually, sometimes you'll see me even writing the names on the palette. But Indian Yellow Deep. Okay, now we're going to take this up here, and we're going to now this color is very, very transparent, so it really isn't going to show up until we get our white on. Now you can see how drawing is very important, because that's what we're doing right now. We're drawing. Now the outside petals are very important, how they're shaped. We want to curve it. And I push down pretty hard. If you kind of have a tendency to shake, if you push down hard on your brush, you won't shake all over the place. This has sort of a round belly, comes out to an edge like that. So if we get that outside edge working, we're pretty well home free. We're going to come down here and let's pick up a little green and sienna. Green and sienna. And we're going to put this a little bit of a stem, and it's going to be slightly curved. And notice how it drifts off into nothing. I take my finger and make sure it just fades away. Now, I'm not going to do anything with this guy just yet. We're going to come over, pick up some more of this. Well, you know what I think I'll do? Let's go into this guy and let's just get him started so you can see what we're doing. So, well, let's come back down to the palette. We're going to pick up a little red, and what is that? Crimson. And we're going to come up here and pick out a little red. You know, you notice the Rembrandt tulip. What I really love about it is the fact it has so much of this red going on. It's just beautiful here. And the tulip is many flowers in one. It's one shape while it's still just a bud. And then it opens up into that beautiful open flower. Now let's come down. We'll take our Indian Yellow Deep. See, I remembered it. Indian Yellow Deep and a touch of white. Now watch how we come up, and we're going to pick petals out of there. There's one there. Notice the curve. There's another one there. And here, look at it go in. So when the color, and less pressure when you want your color to go into the dark. White, very dry with a touch of yellow. And we'll come up here. Look at that color. And less pressure as we come around. Now this is a portrait smooth canvas. Doesn't have all the lumps and the bumps. It'll save your brushes. Now watch this go in. Come on down and around, and then we'll sort of blend it on over. Isn't that wonderful? And then we're going to come over here and look at that. Remember to get that curve in there. Great. Now we're going to take, let's come down to the palette. We'll take our liner brush, touch of medium, some crimson and red, and we're going to put a little, this is why I like this flower, because of all the wonderful red color that we have in there. There's also a little shot over here. Now I know a lot of you guys are saying, oh well, it's so hard for me to draw, get this on there. Don't worry, there'll be a pattern in the book for you, so you can just get it on down, and then just go ahead and paint up a storm. And it'll be very easy for you, because I know if you're just starting out, you need to have something to work with, and the pattern in the book will help you. Here I'm picking up a little more white and yellow. We didn't quite get enough contrast right in here, so I want to get that in. I see a little, let's take a little pink, and that's some crimson and white, and makes sort of a pink. And maybe we'll get a little of that pink up here, see? And you remember that push down and pull up stroke? I always tell you about that. There's a little color down there. See how you zap color? You just put it in and you zap it in there. Maybe a little shot, ba-boom. And the last thing you do is the first thing people see. You know, we're going to take some more of that white and hit it right in here, just to get that little bit of a zing in it. Don't forget your whites. See? Sometimes you have to wait for your oils to set up a little bit to until it's a little tacky. I'm going to use my blender to work that in. That's not too bad. Got that in. Get that. I'm just pull that red over with my brush. Okay, we'll come back to this in a little while and check it out, see if we have everything in that old tulip. We're going to go over to the next one. We'll get them all laid in, and then we will go back and tweak it. We're going to take some of our Indian Yellow Deep, and we're going to come up here. Now this one, this is the tulip that has opened. It gets these wonderful petals that just reach out, and they're really wide, and they taper coming in. We use that Indian Yellow Deep. I really wanted these petals to reach out there, so I'm going to reel, and it's quite large. Reaching down for more of that Indian Yellow Deep. Some of that in here. There's another petal here. Don't get too close to the edge. In here, another one in here. And this is why it's so important for you guys to learn how to draw, because that's what I'm doing, but the pattern will be in the book, so you don't have to worry about it right now. And we got another petal down here. Remember, I have linseed oil on the canvas. I hope I told you. And I'm going to put that in here. Make sure this is pretty well balanced out. Now, and also there's a little bit back here. This is that Indian Yellow Deep. And there it is. Now this is just laid in. It really doesn't mean much to you guys, I know. We're going to get a little, everything starts from nothing. So many people, again, they say, oh, I want to see what it looks like before I start. We take our finger and blend that out. Now, this is the fun part. I'm going to clean my brush off in the turp. I use paper towels all the time up here. You won't see me, but I'm using it. Now we're going to take our white, which has a touch of yellow and it's very dry. And watch how we come up here and start stroking these lights in. And this really brings out the form of the petals of the tulip. Yeah. Remember, you have to work with faith. You ever get on an airplane? Very seldom do you look in the cockpit to see if there's a pilot in there. You just assume there's some guys in there. Well, have that same faith when you paint. Have faith that if you do this certain things a certain way, that your flower will be there. It's not going to happen every time, because you're still learning. And even once you learn and do this stuff, sometimes they just don't want to work. They just won't come out. Okay, here we go, putting it in. We're just working with this one basic color. Indian yellow deep, touch of white. And we might have a little, just a little here. Now, now these are the petals in the back, behind the stem. So we'll take a little crimson. Maybe we'll stick a little mauve with that. And we're going to get this dark back here. That's the back petal. And then we're going to take our red and put it in up here. Using the side of the brush, and we'll get that vein coming up. This again is the part that I love about the Rembrandt tulip. And that's all this wonderful color that spills out of it. Some more up in here. It tapers as it comes up and loses itself up there. And this one is a lot of it on there. We're just going to pull it across. Pull it across. See it? And then we also have some coming out of here. Getting this design takes a while to get it on. And you can do yours at home much slower than what I'm doing it, because I don't have that much time. Sometimes things come out better that are done fast. You ever have people ask you, well, how long did it take you to do that painting? Like it really matters. Some people work on a painting for months and it doesn't come out as well as something that was done in 2 minutes. So what difference does it make? But people always, that don't paint, compare a good painting to the amount of time spent on it, because that's what they're used to. I'm putting some darks behind these petals. Now, we're going to take some white, very, very dry, and watch it happen. Now, the dry paint sticks. You can actually feel the canvas pulling. It sticks to the wet. And we have this wonderful light spilling out of there. A little more white in here. Here, see? Then, you know, we're going to take our liner brush, which I have in my hand, and we're going to grab a hold of this white, and we're going to pull it out. Now, all this stuff takes time. Pull it out. And flat into a point. It's almost like a star shape. See it? But it really adds a lot of sparkle to your painting. Okay, now we're going to take a little more white. Very, very dry. We're going back into this tulip. And I'm going to get a little more white on the top. And actually, you even show some brush strokes. That's okay. Getting more of our highlight on there. Working it in. A little light in here. There's so many little things going on in there. We don't have time to get it all in for you. There. Working it in. Maybe we'll take a little of that light, stick back here. It looked a little lonely back there. We're going to take a little yellow and a little touch of green. And we'll put a little of that right on this stem, because we want it to catch the light. Okay, now maybe a little more white. There, just a little sparkle. And it's just see, it's a dry brush look, just a little hint. And the design on the tulip is so important. I'm going to spend a little more time on this design to really bring it out more, because Again, this is what I love about the tulip. It's all this wonderful red color coming out. Even where it comes in really inside, we want to get a little darker, so I might put a shot of crimson in there to get that little extra dark going in. Now this painting is a little more complicated than the others. Let's come on down to the bottom of the petal. We have a few more down here. Sometimes you can put in a few more of these reds than what actually shows. Okay. All right. Now we're cooking. Remember, it only takes a little more time to do a good job. So many folks stop just short of doing a good job. They get lazy. It's the little detail that will bring you on up into another level above what you're used to doing. Now, you don't always paint what you see in the photograph. We go beyond the photograph. Otherwise, what's the sense of painting? You might as well just take a photo and hang the photo up. A lot of folks say, okay, where do you get your inspiration for these flowers? Well, my wife, Catherine, she's a flower nut. She loves to grow flowers. And I wanted to show you some photos of where we got these photos from. Now, this was taken from our garden. And actually, you can see how it almost matches what we're doing in the painting. I'm going to show you another one. So this is how important it is to take, whoop, is that the way that goes? Don't know. But anyway, you get the idea. Maybe it's that way. That looks cool. That's cool. Many photos, you do turn different ways to get different angles. So I just wanted to show you a few. I've got more here. But I wanted to show you a few of where we get our inspiration. Okay, how are we doing? Oh, this is looking cool. Let's take, I get so excited I can't even talk. Just imagine, I'm only up here for a short time. Imagine what you can do at home in 3 or 4 hours. You could make a really beautiful painting. Watch this blue go on. Blue. Now, what this blue does, it picks up the atmosphere behind the flower. So get a little more blue. You see that? How it matches back there? This is echoing. This is bringing the color from the background into your painting. So many people forget to do that. Let's put a few, I'm looking at it, making sure I'm not leaving anything out, which I do sometimes. Let's put some leaves in. Yes, we're going to come down here with our green and our sienna, and we have a nice leaf that goes in here, and it comes on. Whoa, this is a long one. It comes up and actually cuts in front of that just a little bit. And then it comes down and we lose it. We're going to even take your paper towel, wipe it, hit it, get some texture in it, and it disappears into nothing. Let's put another one in. Green and sienna, very dry. We have another one here, and it comes down. You start with a straight, and then you flatten that brush out, bring it on down, take your power. Don't be afraid, just hit the thing. Don't be afraid of it. Good grief, it's just paint canvas. We have another one that comes across. We might wiggle, and it comes across, and you kind of come up and down. And this one is also going to float into nothing. The background's nice and dry, so we get this texture in there. Whew. We have another one here coming out. Now this one here, where it flips up in the air, we'll take a little orange and yellow. Woo! Let's clean that brush, get rid of that. Orange and yellow. And we're going to take this color. Let's see if we can sneak it under here. See? So it looks like you can see underneath that petal that we just curved around. Good stuff in there. Be creative. Use your imagination. People say, oh, you paint flowers. But I hate to paint just flowers in a vase. It's boring stuff. Though I do some of them, but I try to make it as exciting as possible. I think floral painting is all about color, texture, all of that stuff. Here I'm adding a little light on there. Let's get the light on there. White, yellow. Look at that light. Ba-boom. We want a feeling that if that's going to be that strong, then our leaves are going to be strong. Our leaves are going to be picking up stuff. Now we're going to take our towel. We're going to take a little turp on our towel. I just dipped it in the turp. And I'm going to actually hit it in here. And what you'll see, can you see that? You see how it's taking paint off adding that? Can you see that? Look at that texture. Then we take the dry part and pat it. So the background color is coming through. If you take off, maybe we got a little bit too carried away. And we'll just put it back in again, a little hint. But that looks neat. It sort of gives it an old antique-y, like, gee, that's an old painting that's been around for a while. Now what I'm going to do is put this up on the lip. Now, I want you to watch this. Now it doesn't work every time, but we'll give it a shot. We're going to take a little sienna and green and some medium. And let's put a little bit right in here. Boy, we better make sure it's nice and thin. And I just want to show you how you antique these edges. Now I'm going to take, let's get in there real close on that area. I'm going to take some turp on a fan brush. I'm going to take and we're watching that spot. Watch it. Can you see? You see what it did? How it just made these little pop, 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 pop. You see it? That looks so good. Let's. You never know, guys, when you're on here if it's going to work or not. But it did. So let's come on over here. Let's travel on over. And we got a little more in here. Now this, what we're putting on, is done very thin. Very thin. Then we'll take our towel, or our fan brush, put some turp on it, and watch it. We're going to swiggle it. Yep. You see it? Let's look at the other side. Come on over. Because as we're painting over here, this is still painting. You see that antique look? Now you can do that in a few spots around, but don't get carried away with it. Now I've got something special I want to show you that we're going to do, and how important it is to learn how to do your gray. This is a gray scale. You see your black going to your white. Values are very important. And what we're going to do is take this painting and I'm going to turn it into a black and white painting. Now look at that. Now let's take and let's explore this painting. Can we come in a little closer with it? Is that possible to come in? Yes. Now, I want you to just stay right there. Here's our chart. See how important, can you see all the values in your painting? You see your color chart? Every value we have in this painting is found in this chart. At home, you need to practice just on your palette, taking some black and white oil and mix these values. There's about 9 or 10 of them. Because when you learn to paint, you're going to be learning values. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take and turn that painting back into color so you guys can see at home what the painting looks like in color. Yeah, there it is. Boom. But you see, all those values are actually in the painting. At home, when you take a photograph, remember these photos I showed you? Take and run this through a copy machine in black and white, or you can put it, scan it in your computer in black and white, and what it'll do, it'll give you your picture in these gray values. So important. And so when you're painting, you'll have not only your color photo to refer to, but you'll also have your gray values scale that you ran through your computer or your copy machine in black and white. So you got your color, you've got the whole thing in your grayscale going, and what that happens is after you do that, there's your painting. And you could do this on all your paintings, your rose paintings, run them through your copy machine, computer, make your grayscale, your photo in black and white, have your color black and white photo, and paint up a storm. Have fun. I'm just showing you guys a way to go. Think of me as your roadmap, and I'm just pointing out how to get there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Er is een schitterend nieuw boek uit van Garry Jenkins. Boordevol tips en prachtige voorbeelden. U heeft dit nieuwe boek al in huis voor slechts €35. Of bestel voor dezelfde prijs de gloednieuwe 3-uurs DVD met Nederlandse ondertiteling. Garry Jenkins leert u alle geheimen van zijn schildertechnieken. Kijk voor bestelinformatie op omroepmax.nl of teletextpagina 332.